Kim Philby and Jim Angleton were fast friends. They had met in England during the war and reunited in Washington in 1949 and 1950. Kim Philby, of course, was a Soviet spy. And so he took his poor friend Jim Angleton to the cleaners. They talked about all sorts of covert operations, and Philby would immediately pass this on to the KGB in Moscow. This had a big effect on Angleton's personality, made him very paranoid and very concerned about Soviet penetration. So he gets himself appointed to be the chief of counterintelligence at the CIA. What is counterintelligence? Counterintelligence is the defensive aspect of intelligence work. Espionage is where you go out and steal the other guy's secrets, okay? Counterintelligence is where you're trying to prevent the other guy from doing that to you. And so Angleton devotes his life to searching for Soviet moles within the CIA. And it eventually drives him crazy, probably because there wasn't one. But along the way, he amasses incredible power, develops an extensive relationship with the Mossad in Israel, helps Israel steal the technology for the atomic bomb, helps develop the mind control experiments, a guy who's really kind of totally out of control. And finally is kind of brought down by rivals within the agency because his influence is so destructive on the organization. But a fascinating character and, quite a lethal one, a dangerous man.
You mentioned he was consumed because of his relationship with Kim Philby. He was consumed by this perpetual sort of like a witch finder general to find Soviet moles everywhere in the CIA and the United States government, of which there really weren't any. However, what do you think accounts for that as opposed to MI6, in which there were many?
Well, this is what everybody in the CIA said was, MI6 had been penetrated by Philby and others, and they wanted to make sure that it didn't happen. That's why Helms kept Angleton on despite a lot of misgivings, because he said, well, at least we've never been penetrated, and he sort of trusted Angleton to do the job. The problem was that Angleton was acting on the flimsiest of evidence. So this one Soviet defector said, oh yeah, I think I knew who the mole in the CIA was, and his name began with K. Angleton went through CIA personnel files, called in every officer whose last name began with K, questioned them, found something to suspect in all of them, and ended their careers on
just everyone with the last name K.
Yeah. And so
talk about, wow, this is like the trial, Joseph K. Jesus.
That's exactly what it's like. It was straight out of Kafka. And eventually, Angleton was searching, and he had files. After he was fired, they went through the CIA went through the files, and he had named 40 names. He had 40 suspects for the mole. And another CIA officer reinvestigated all of those names. And he said there was not compelling evidence against any one of them. It was a figment of his imagination. By the late 1960s, the guy is pounding the martinis. I'm not talking 3 martini lunch. I'm talking 5 martini lunch. That was the norm for Angleton. And for a lot of people,
very, very well lubricated gentleman.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're looking for a mole, you got to be loose.